I don't know if this is going to be all one clip. Uh, Probably. We'll see what we can do. We can kind of speed run through this and then just kind of break down individual things that I think are important. Sure, let's do that. So, I'm going to go down based on when this news came out and sort of go from there. So first of all, a couple of things on the draft here. So Zach Edey goes in the top 10. He goes to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit surprised by that. I don't think he's going to be good. And I think they basically took him on potential. So congrats, I guess, Zach Edey. You're going to make a lot of money in the NBA, but I don't think he's going to be all that good. That's just my opinion. Dalton Connect, however, he falls all the way to the Lakers. I'm very upset by that because I think Dalton Connect will be at least a pretty good player. He's one of the older players to be drafted in this draft. I believe he's 23 years old. Obviously, he had a great year with Tennessee last year. He shoots three. He's a really good shooter. I don't know if he's going to develop into the NBA level. And one more thing I got to say, the Lakers, they took Bronny James in the second round. So it's funny, because that last clip that I posted where we were talking about how the Lakers are a joke of a franchise, and there's a few Lakers fans who didn't like that, left some dislikes on the video. So are we still a serious organization, LA? Are we still, or are we just playing fantasy basketball? We're gonna draft Bronny James. I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't draft his other kid. I don't know if they had the extra pick, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they would have traded into the second draft and been like, you know what, we're taking I think he has another son, LeBron James. We're gonna take his son too. We're gonna take we're just whatever LeBron wants, we'll do what he wants. We'll just follow the whims of this guy. And then obviously LeBron opts out of his contract and he will sign again with the LA Lakers on a new deal, but he's opted out of that particular contract that he's in. A couple of here. Let me see if there's other moves that are notable that I want to talk about here quickly. So Mikal Bridges goes to the Knicks. Hey, I think it's a good pickup. The Knicks, they're looking to go all in. They gave up like a bazillion picks, I want to say, as well as a bunch of players. Let's see, how many picks did they get? The Knicks are sending 4 unprotected picks: 2025, 2027, 2029, and 2031. A 2025 protected Milwaukee first, a 2028 unprotected pick swap, and a 2025 second round pick for Mikal. Like, geez Louise. Okay. Like this could really turn around the Brooklyn Nets, to be totally fair to them. They got an absolute haul for Mikal Bridges. And you got to give this could be a win-win trade if the Knicks end up going to the finals and winning a championship with Mikal Bridges here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hey, you get Brunson back. You get Brunson back. You already had Brunson. Why am I blanking on the other guy's name? I don't remember the guy's name. The guy who was hurt. I don't know what his name is. I can't remember it. Whatever. You got Brunson. You got Bridges. It could be a good time in Knickerbocker land. So good for the Knicks going all in. I love bold trades like this. For one, because if it doesn't work out for them, we can all make fun of them and laugh, and that's always fun. But if it does work out for them, it's like, hey, this is a message to other GMs. Like, go out and be bold. Like, take a risk sometimes when you're right there on the precipice. This is a trade that is going to either build a statue for a GM or have a GM be fired, basically. And for entertainment's sake, I like those kind of moves. And I'm sure Mikal Bridges is going to enjoy playing, down the street over at MSG, as opposed to, where do the Nets play? I don't even know what their arena. They used to play in Jersey, back when they were actually a good team. But hey, it's the Nets. It's a terrible name, by the way. The Nets. Anyway, briefly, I want to talk Hawks trading DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans. Okay. It was like, yeah, looks like they're going to run it back with Trae Young. They're going to stick with Trae. It seemed like it was either between DeJounte Murray and Trae Young as to what they were going to do, or who they were going to stick with. I think it's smart to stick with Trae Young. I don't know that either of those players are particularly, elite superstar level players, but they're both very good players. So I don't know what exactly the Hawks' direction is going to be, but I do think, yeah, it's like you were going to move on from one of them, so you might as well get something for DeJounte. And for the Pelicans, you pick up a really good player. You're pairing him with Zion, who, if he can stay healthy, it might be a good pair. And I don't know. It's like I feel like with the Hawks and the Pelicans, they're actually not all that different in my mind. Like it's crazy. Like just a few years ago, the Hawks went to the conference finals. That's how quickly things can change in the NBA and in sports in general. So don't take any championship run for granted. Is the lesson to take away from this. Briefly want to talk about James Harden staying with the Clippers. Yeah, great. I mean, he's probably gonna he's sticking with a franchise that has never won anything of note. So it makes sense. It's just like James Harden. So he's staying where he wants to stay. But I wanted to also mention a couple of former Pistons here. Andre Drummond, Pistons legend, double machine, two-time playoff run player for the Pistons, which is actually really sad. He's on the Sixers now. I really don't know why he keeps getting signed, to be perfectly honest. He's a decent player, so he'll find a role on the bench for the Sixers. Obviously, he's not going to start for them, but yeah, he'll find some role on the bench. Obviously, a vet, former All-Star, double. I want to say he was a rebound champ at one point, but hey, Pistons legend Andre Drummond. Then you also got KCP. This is a move I really like. KCP signing with the Magic. I really like this Magic team, and I really like this move. Obviously, experienced playoff champion in KCP, 2 championships under his belt, and former Piston, of course. So he made the play. He went to the playoffs with the Pistons. That's how long this guy has been in the league. KCP, again, 3-and-D guy, great leader. He's going to be an excellent addition to that team. They also, I didn't put it in the show notes, they also extend Mo Wagner as well as Jonathan Isaac. So look, I really like what the Magic are doing. It's funny to think that they were also in the lottery with the Pistons just a few years ago, and now they're trying to make some sort of run here in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if it's going to work out because the Eastern Conference is absolutely loaded, but I'm never going to fault the team for trying. And KCP is going to be a welcome addition. I'll say that again and again. Chris Paul decided to sign a contract. I don't know why, but he's signing with the Spurs, which I think it's a good move for both parties. For one, KCP, Chris Paul is going to be able to help, kind of in the twilight of his career, go out with, being able to play with, a future superstar and Victor Wembanyama. So that's already just a cool thing for him, but also for the Spurs franchise in general. You bring a leader, you bring a veteran of the league, one of the all-time great point guards, and he's certainly going to help with the lobs up to Victor. Like, I mean, obviously, for a lot of people think of Chris Paul and Lob City back at the Clippers. I don't know if it's going to look like that with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin and all them, but it's certainly a competent move. You're bringing in an experienced guard to help develop the rest of that team, and I don't doubt that he will have a positive impact on the Spurs. As far as where the Spurs are going to be next year, I don't know where I'm at on that. If Victor Wembanyama is everything he has been advertised and more, which his rookie campaign was fantastic, if he is like beyond that, if he's like basically a averaging a double or close to a triple double in his second year, the team could be a play-in team if he just carries the rest of the bums on the team as well as the corpse of Chris Paul into the playoffs. But you never know. It's the Spurs. They are one of the most well-run franchises in the NBA, so I'm sure they'll have multiple championships, and I'll have to deal with Asar Thompson. I will never let that. I will never. Till the day I don't care how Asar Thompson could go out and be like Dennis Rodman. I will never let that go. I will never let that. Anyways, one more thing.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Thank you, Kamala. I'm sorry, that dropped. I heard that today, and I needed that on my board. Speaking of out here in the streets, Paul George going to the Sixers. So I think this makes a lot of sense because basically the Sixers are a bunch of losers. So Paul George, he fits right in. A guy who's never won anything. Now look, joking aside, Paul George, a very good player, a vet of the league. I mean, just a superstar caliber player. And as far as the Sixers were concerned, they really didn't have any other option, right? Like they're a perennial playoff team at this point. They have not taken that leap. Joel Embiid either can't stay healthy or, you have Ben Simmons just, die. Obviously, he's not on the team anymore, but you understand what I mean. And so they go out and they get probably one of the best free agents actually available in Paul George. So again, I'm never going to fault a team for trying. However, I guess it's just if we're dealing with guys not staying healthy with Joel Embiid and you bring in a Paul George who also can't really stay healthy. It's like, look, if they can manage to like win the lottery and Paul George and Joel Embiid both are healthy the whole year and like have great years for the both of them, and Tyrese Maxey, who they just extended as well, if he maintains that level that he was at last year, then yeah, of course they're going to be able to compete for the East. But again, it's a loaded East, and I just something about Philadelphia, man. It just doesn't smell right. Whatever they're cooking and whatever they've been cooking for like the last like 5-6 years, it just doesn't look right. I don't know what it is. It's something ain't right. To quote Stephen A. Smith, something ain't right. But 4-year deal, $212 million for Paul George, and then obviously I just mentioned Tyrese Maxey gets the max extension as well. And then a couple more things here. Klay Thompson to the Mavs. I think this is a fantastic move for everyone involved. For one, obviously Klay Thompson is sort of in the twilight of his career. He's far past his prime. And it's kind of crazy to think about him not playing for the Warriors. Like it really thought that whole core would basically retire as Warriors, but ultimately not gonna go that way. He joins the joins the Mavs in a sign and trade. Look, you're basically replacing your third option of PJ Washington or Tim Hardaway Jr. with Klay Thompson. Sounds great to me. Like, if I'm a Mavs fan, that sounds fantastic. Like, as long as Klay Thompson's legs don't fall off, this is going to be a really good sign and trade for the Mavericks. For the Warriors, yeah, it was about time. You had to basically cut bait. You're not going to let a guy like Steph Curry leave, I would anticipate, not that he was a free agent or anything, but Steph Curry is the face of that franchise. He's the guy who's going to end up, staying with the team until he retires. Draymond maybe as well, but the rest of that core, I mean, obviously Andre Iguodala has retired at this point. And yeah, I guess Klay Thompson, for as good as he was for the Warriors, obviously it's like he was sort of the Robin to Steph Curry's Batman, if you want to use that sort of terminology. But as far as the Mavs go, look, I got to give them credit as well. They just made the finals. Obviously, they got knocked out pretty embarrassingly there, but they bring in a superstar player. They're going to be right back in it as long as everybody stays healthy. And that's a question with Kyrie. That's a question with Klay Thompson, and I guess the rest of that staff. But I don't know. Out of the West, it seems to me it's a little more open than I think a lot of people might have thought before. With the Nuggets, I don't know if they're going to be as good. Obviously, you still got Jokic, so they're going to be good. But I don't know. It just seems a little bit more open than what was otherwise thought of, where you had people were thinking the Nuggets and the Suns and the Lakers and the Warriors. And the Warriors are kind of falling off. The Suns are definitely falling off. The Lakers are also kind of falling off as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you're looking at the Mavs, the Timberwolves, the Thunder. It could be competitive, but I don't know how. It seems to me that it is still open. And I think if there's going to be a team that has more experience and vets and all that, it's going to be the Mavs over, say, the Wolves or the Thunder. But either way, one more thing, just wanted to make note. Jason Tatum also getting the Supermax, well-deserved. Obviously, one of the key pieces in that title run for Celtics. Good for Jason Tatum. I don't have much else to offer as far as analysis. And Donovan Mitchell, he also got an extension, which was actually really surprising. I didn't know what the situation with that in Cleveland was a little tenuous, so I was surprised to see him stick around. But good for Cleveland, honestly. Like I say that with very little sarcasm, actually, because it's a small market team. Obviously, they really had never had any success without LeBron James. And to be able to keep a superstar level player like Donovan Mitchell, I think that's fantastic for small market teams, and I hope it works out for them. It'd be cool to see them have some success outside of LeBron James. Maybe not like immediately, because I want, you know, I can only take so much of Ohio having success. But either way, solid move for him to stick around and sign. Obviously, there was rumors and such of, is he unhappy? Is Darius Garland unhappy? I don't know what's going to go on. Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on there. But I think it was really, really good to see Donovan Mitchell going to be sticking around with the Cavs. But that is basically all of the NBA offseason stuff for at least right now. I'm sure, like, by the time I wake up tomorrow, I don't know, some other star player is going to be moved, and then we'll have to talk about it next week. And I won't be mad at all. Not at all. There will be no anger. I'm not even going to be mad. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.